Right, so we're downstairs where it all happens. Adrian again and Chris, and just kind of working through the progression of how things get made. You say start off with printed.
So yeah, years ago we started off 3D printing molds.
So you got 3D laser printers there, and then, I didn't realise you could do that for a start. So that's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be careful with what material you use. So, like I was saying, we used to print with polycarbonate.
Yeah.
Because you need the higher temperature.
Yeah.
If you're using pre-preg, you need temperature and pressure.
Yeah.
So these printers are PLA, which is just your standard. We print like little fixtures for the machine and things like that.
Yeah.
And other like moulding bits to test alignments.
Yeah.
Like, good for making little models. But PLA would deform at anywhere close to the temperatures we need to cure carbon.
Yeah.
So you can't really.
So then you move on to engineering block.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago we got the CNC machine and started working with tooling block, which is
tooling block.
which is it's epoxy, like an epoxy board basically. It's like tough, but it can be brittle. But it's good for, depending on the shape, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Like we've got a mudguard mould there that's done dozens of pulls, and like this is an.
But you're saying on this frame one about 10 or 12 because it's a more complicated shape.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it's like so. You can imagine like a tube. So this is a 2-part front triangle mould. It closes up. So to make a tube, you've got on the split line, you've got some kind of flat bits.
Yeah.
So where you pull that, if it's an open shape, you can pull from that all day long.
Yeah.
You're never going to have any trouble really. Where it's a closed shape, you get some. This material is fairly brittle, so you get some chipping on the edges after a few goes. So we can reliably get maybe a dozen pulls off, something like this that's fairly.
But that's great for kind of checking that it's what you want, and then you move over to alloy for the stuff that I guess is like full production.
So and that's when the cost comes in. So we machine the tooling block here because it's much easier to machine than metal.
Yeah.
So we can do it on our we've got a pretty basic machine upstairs, but it's good for doing tooling block, and we use it to finish parts and drill holes if we need to and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Next level then is metal molds. The cost is so high, you've got to be absolutely sure.
So how many, in terms of units, how many you need to be doing before you'd commit to metal?
Probably the batch you get off the tooling block.
Right. Oh, okay.
So
right.
That's kind of we'd do like.
But it's not 100 or 300 or something like that. Right. Oh.
No, I mean it might be if you go to the Far East.
Yeah.
But that's because I think over there they build a lot of the project cost into the tooling and the design. I suppose
it's an easy way to hide it.
They design the tooling.
It's an easy cost to justify, I suppose. Yeah.
We do, obviously we do the design here, so that's a big chunk of the work, and then we're just getting, lumps of metal machine, which we subcontract the metal, so we don't do that here. But like if we sold a handful of something, we could probably pay for the metal molds.
Right. Okay.
Make that thing.
Right. So it's nice and scalable then.
Yeah, and then the metal molds basically last. If you look after them, they're kind of indefinite.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look after, like you can see, we've reinforced the tooling block here to give it some strength. So this will probably, run on. But we've been through. The benefit for us is we get to go through a few.
Yeah.
It's a few days. Well, like I said to you, it's a few days machining, a couple of days work to finish them up.
Yeah.
So it's not, in terms of the actual outlay for us, it's fair. Like the block is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So the outlay is minimal. We don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. For your draft process, essentially.
Yeah. So we can go through. Prototyping basically with the tooling.
Because there's you're probably going to give me a slap if I start swinging the camera around too much, but there's some interesting things sat about here, aren't there? there's an Oleo, that reminds me of the old USE subfork there. Anti-dive, is that?
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No.
All right, okay, so fully active, but anyway,
but anyway.
One-legged fork, and then we've got sections up here. Well, that's it. Pinion gearboxes, are they a mix of?
Yeah. One down there, built up.
Yeah.
That's my winter hardtail.
Right. So
Move this chap's guy.
Yeah.
So this is an Olsen N1.
Right. Yeah.
That you might know.
Yeah, I know, Steve. Yeah.
So we make Steve's carbon frames.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah.
We're just in the process of kind of redesigning the frame with a kind of, well, yeah, I don't want to say too much, but a different way of making it so we can do custom geometry off a set of moulds.
Okay, right, yeah.
Kind of like,
a little more modular.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, and then that'll let us get some metal moulds made.
Yeah.
But we're not going to, but then we can do custom geometry.
But like sectional metal moulds.
Yeah. So it's going to be like 3 parts.
Right.
So yeah, I think I don't know if you've written Opinion much, you probably have. But
Not for a while, but yeah. I wrote it on Zeroed.
Ah, yeah. So I think there's 2 good uses for the gearbox. I think winter hardtail and kind of gravity.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Either way, weight's not a massive issue.
Yeah.
They weigh a bit, and there's a bit of drag.
Yeah.
But if you've got like a muddy,
I'd love to get some power pedals defined on how much it actually is.
yeah.
Because I bet it's much less than the subjective feel of it
Well,
is.
part of what we do is we're making some cranks for the pinion to save a bit of the weight. And we're talking at the moment about getting power meter on.
Right.
So that might assist. But
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think it's only in the lower couple of gears. It's noticeable, and even then, I don't find it's noticeable if there's any mud on the ground or
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't have a pinion on, you'd just attribute it to something else, quite possibly. Yeah.
So I think winter hardtail. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see one win the Olympic XC, but
No.
winter hardtail, and then some kind of gravity stuff like longer travelling.
They make shocks feel so amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, where the weight isn't so bad, but the position of the weight is really good because it's all low and centre.
Yeah, and you've unsprung to sprung mass and all that kind of thing is in its favour.
The is great.
Yeah.
So you can see that thing never gets cleaned. It's just
and
it's like belt drive, so you don't even.
Plus, you're an engineer, so you have to have a love for gearboxes.
So it's not that.
Sorry, this is the bonus storage box section now. So, I mean, that's the mandrel that basically makes it there.
It's the mould, yeah. So it's made as the front triangle comes out as one piece. That's just an insert because of the shape. There's like an undercut, so you couldn't get that from the 2-part mould. So we have to third part in.
But again, beauty of carbon fibre over aluminium again.
Yeah.
But so the people making a massive fuss about putting a storage hatch in. Not necessarily it's not been a huge deal for you then. You're literally just saying it's the weight of the metal fasteners.
Oh yeah,
pretty much.
For the ICG, like it's not. If it's like bottom bracket is a heavily reinforced area anyway, so you're just slightly making the shape, slightly ovalised instead of round, so you've got room for your 2 mounts, and then.
So again, it's just coming back to design, isn't it? If you put in the things that need to be strong in the right place.
And
you put in your shock vectors and stuff in line.
Making that out of aluminium, and you're stuck with like straight tubes and bits you're welding together. I can see there is a faff there, isn't there? You're making an extra bracket that's welded on, or you're having to machine the bottom bracket as a piece instead of.
And it's an awkward construction process as well, I guess.
Yeah, but carbon fibre, you just slightly tweak the shape.
Yeah. Or even if the factory out in the Far East goes, we really can't be arsed about this. We'll make them pay through this because it's a pain in the arse. Yeah. You're going to pay the pain in the arse tax, I guess.
Yeah. So again, you get that flexibility, don't you, with carbon. So it doesn't need to be a penalty. And the same with, like we were saying, the storage hatch. You can just, like you say, just reinforce the hole.
Yeah.
It's really not that big a deal.
Grand. Right, so obviously this isn't mountain bike parts, but this is track bars that you make for another company.
That's right.
And I mean, I've just picked them up and hella stiff. I mean, these are world championship quality, world championship winning bars.
Did they win? But
in the team, didn't they? Italians.
Yes.
But anyway,
he wore Viviani rode him in the points race.
Yeah.
Which I think he won.
Yeah. But it just kind of gives a light to the fact that, I mean, you're never going to be able to make that shape out of alloy, are you?
No, this is it. So this is what.
But also, it shows that you can actually make some quite aggressive shapes out of carbon fibre. Because it used to be, when it started off, it was like, it's got to be flowing and organic, and
it's
all about how you make it, really.
The the guys in Italy completely designed this.
Right.
You know, it's completely their design, and you can see they've gone for some pretty aggressive transition.
But presumably you have some input in terms of like, right, this is how. So do they come to you with like, this is what we want it to look like?
Yeah.
Can you make it this shape strong enough?
And then we kind of go back and say, well, can you do that? And they're like, well, actually, no, there's a reason we do it. And, or other times, it's no big deal, change it. But generally, we try to accommodate their.
Yeah. And like you said, that's often where the learnings come from.
Yeah.
God, I didn't think of doing that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
when someone's paying you, it's a bit different to it being we could try it, but we don't really have to. Yeah.
So we've been making them for about 6 months. We did quite a few of the tooling block molds, and we went through a couple of rounds of those. You see, it's pretty aggressive kind of shapes in terms of release. And then we've just got some metal molds made, which is what we're making.
And again, it's a modular kind of bolt together as you create the bar mold there.
That's right, and then we need to disassemble the molds.
Sorry, Chris isn't comfortable. I can tell we're being filmed here. And the light's a bit weird on the old GoPro.
But the first set we made out of these molds got sent up to Glasgow for the
cheers,
track,
Chris.
whatever they call it now, Champions League.
League of Superheroes.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
So that was a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
So I think they've got some riders. I don't think they've got any like big names riding them yet, but.
Well, Viviani.
Well, yeah.
Apart from Viviani.
So, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us to do. I think. It's like gets us some experience with handlebars that may come in.
Yeah, exactly. You never know when that might become a linkage, or you know.
Yeah, or a handlebar.
Or just getting someone else to pony up for a complicated mould like that.
Yeah.
Is great, isn't it?
It gets us experience of designing the metal moulds, so that when we get our frame moulds made, we know a bit better about how they release, and like we get a really good release from the resin with aluminium that you just don't have with anything else we've used. But just
the microscopic surface finish is just
so it's good.
Right, back to mountain bikes, and then this is the truffle, right?
This is it, yeah.
This is the beast. This is the one we've been seeing on Instagram recently.
Yes. With paint job.
Yeah. 120mm at both ends.
120, yeah.
65.5 degree head angle, 76 seat, 480 reach on a large.
Yeah, you've done your homework.
You like to try. So down country then.
Bang on.
Or just riding about in the woods, having a laugh, going quick and feeling like you're going quick.
Yeah, but it's good stuff. Give things a name, isn't it?
But if you look at what's over Chris's head. So is that another thing that I'm not supposed to talk about yet? The best bike you've ever ridden, I think you said that.
Yes.
Are you telling me that's a low wheel back end? Is that a parallelogram back end?
Yeah.
I literally just wrote something about that the other day.
That's a rotor.
Are we going to see that come back, or is it going to be high pivot? So you've done both there. If you read the downtime feature coming up, that's actually got both. That's got low wheel leader. That parallel. That, if you don't know what I mean, that's Mert low wheel parallelogram set up there, and a high pivot. That's the holy grail there, Adrian. That's it. You've invented the future. Forget the what's the pink bike thing? What's it called? The super slack pink bike thing.
The donut.
Yeah, the Grim Donut. Yeah. This is it. It's happening in Yorkshire.
Those
the Grim Barn Cake.
465 chainstays, and they're amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting distracted.
We can do
I mean, it must be good. It's got a flight saddle on it.
Yeah.
There are some things that are a giveaway.
You're a man of taste.
About bikes and people who know about bikes, and the fact it's still got a flight saddle on, that speaks to me a lot on that. And of course, Sid Ultimate, 35mm leg Sids.
They're good, aren't they?
Which is like, I mean, you might as well write Guy Kestevan on it, as far as I'm concerned. It's, that's my kind of bike, is that, I reckon. So, play in the woods?
Let's do it.
Happy days.